Okay, we're live. I am recording information about the case of Emmanuel Deshawn Aranda, whose latest known address is 2710 Park Avenue in Minneapolis. I know a lot of you have wondered, oh, is he in Ilhan Omar's district? Well, here we go. Zip code 55408. Oh my goodness, I just got an error message. Use the PT. Okay. Okay. So, all right. I mean, learning as I go how this works. Anyway, here's the zip code 55408. And he does indeed live in Ilhan Omar's district. Is that proof that he's a Somali? Not necessarily. Look at how large that district is. It includes Richfield, Brooklyn Park, Minneapolis, Minnetonka, parts of Eden Prairie, apparently, or comes up against Eden Prairie. That is a really large piece of real estate. Not conclusive proof that he's a Somali. However, let's switch to another screen. Everybody's wondering, oh yeah, maybe he lives in Little Mogadishu. Well, let's look at that map. Here it is. There is Little Mogadishu, the Cedar Riverside neighborhood. That is an address, an area that if he in fact lived in those boundaries, you could be fairly sure that he's Somali. However, slight little problem. When you look at, switch again, when you look at the address on Google Maps, here it is, 2710 Park Avenue. Here it is over here on Google Maps. I keep tweaking it so it'll flash in blue. That's actually a senior citizen development. It's a campus that's dedicated to senior living, ages 65 and above. A lot of them, there's a lot of assisted living services going on there. There's some day-to-day living for people that are going over here to the health campus. People coming for a same-day surgery or a short, that need a short recovery place to recover after the hospital, but before they go home. So I'm looking at this address that he's given us over here on Park Avenue, and I'm thinking, that's a senior home. What is he doing giving that as an address? I don't know. You tell me. So this address doesn't mean anything. It means he's given us an address that's not likely to be his. Why he would give us a false address? I don't know. I really don't know. But let's get into the heinous act that he committed. The maximum sentence is 20 years to life. I do hope he gets life. It's a felony sentence. He perpetrated this on the 12th. And here's the charge description. The short, blunt force truth is that on or about April 12th, 2019 in Bloomington, Hennepin County, Minnesota, this piece of crap attempted to cause the death of the victim, a human being, with premeditation and with intent to effect the death of that person. That's a reasonable charge, considering that nobody could reasonably be expected to have survived a fall like that. And I'll get to that here in just a minute. So at about 10:19 a.m., Bloomington police officers were dispatched to the Mall of America on a report of a child being thrown off a third-floor balcony. I'm not going to get into the description of his injuries because I think if you think about it, you can come to your own conclusions about the heinous and grievous injuries this child suffered. But this was the guy's attitude. Okay, the The Bloomington police officers talked to the defendant after reading him a Miranda warning. He agreed to speak with police officers and said he was the one who thrown the 5-year-old victim from the balcony and fled. 5-year-old child, kindergartner. He said he formed a plan to kill someone at the mall April 11th. That's when he planned it, April 11th. He had come to the mall that day looking for someone to kill, but it did not work out. He said he planned to kill an adult, but because they usually stand near the balcony, but he chose the victim instead. Okay, premeditated. He'd thought about it the day before, encasing the place out on the 11th, came back on the 12th, and chose a child. He said he planned to kill an adult because they usually stand near the balcony, but he chose the victim instead. So he further explained he'd been coming to the mall for several years and had made efforts to talk to women at the mall, but had been rejected. And the rejection caused him to lash out and be aggressive. Yes, blame rejection. For how does that even correlate to attacking a child? This guy is a sack of you know what. All right, here's what's really heinous. The defendant acknowledged repeatedly in his interview that he had planned and intended to kill someone at the mall that day, and that he was aware that what he was doing was wrong. He did this intentionally. He knew it was wrong. He planned it. That is chilling. A review of video surveillance in the mall showed the defendants walking in the mall on the 3rd floor and looking over the balcony several times before approaching the victim and witness 1. So the state, maybe I should back up. The victim landed on the 1st floor in front of numerous people after falling for approximately 39 feet. That's like a 4-story drop onto cement. I know that's a concrete floor. I've shopped at Mall of America. I have been there. I can hardly talk about the idea of throwing a child 4 floors to the cement floor below. That is a long fall for anybody, much less a child. The state intends to pursue an aggravated sentence based on particular cruelty to the victim, particular vulnerability of the victim, and the commission of the act in the presence of other children and the victim's mother. We don't even portray heinous acts like that in the most gruesome motion pictures. That's a hands-off thing. We don't do that. But this guy thought that was just fine. Heinous person. So they set bail at $2 million. I think that's going to keep him behind bars for a good long time. There are release conditions. He's not getting out anytime soon. But here are the release conditions. No contact with the victim. No possession of weapons. He didn't even use a weapon. No contact with Mall of America. Well, he's been there before and been run off. No contact with witnesses. No contact with minors, males, females under the age of 18. Well, I think he'll satisfy all of those conditions because I don't see any of those things happening while he's behind bars. So I hope they keep him there permanently. All right, so here's a fact sheet on this character, on this individual, this perpetrator, this suspect, this murderer. His name is indeed Emmanuel Deshawn Aranda. His address, as provided to law enforcement, was 2710 Park Avenue, which corresponds to that senior living center. Makes no sense whatsoever. I'm out of time. Anyway, no AKA on file. Just busting that bit of conspiracy theory.